Back when nothing truly mattered and we hadn't had a clue. We fell in to play the game. Nothing would ever be the same. There were times when there was laughter. There were times when there was joy. But they took it all away for the pleasure in our pain. Welcome to our whole world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole world. All the lie you tried to hide away from the scars we made. This is your chance to understand we did not design this plan that was built for you. There's nothing you can do. This is my warning, this is your sign that you can't go running high. We will fight for you. You know it to be true. Welcome to our whole world. Shine a light on everything. Please don't be scared for what we made. Welcome to our whole world. All the liars tried to hide away from the scars we made.
And welcome back to Nerd TV for another Global Racing League Truck Series race, live from the simulated Phoenix Raceway. As these 17 drivers currently in session are going to go in a total of 150 laps to secure who is the 2024 champion for the Global Racing League Truck Series. And 3 drivers, not 4. Is notated right there, the GRL Championship 4 ? Chad McGinley, if you heard last week, said, I'm not going to be here. So there's 3 drivers, and we'll go over that and everything as we start up qualifying and into the race. But the weather on the track, as Dustin is so patiently waiting for me to talk about, 76 degrees in the air. Got a decent amount of humidity. Oh, there they are. There it is. 32 actually. 32% humidity. Overcasty, which you can see the thick blanket there above the track. And decent amount of winds here in the Phoenix area, which might or might not affect these trucks here tonight. My name, of course, is Jeremy Stanley, a.k.a. Jay Swifty, and Dustin Logston. We're twinsies. What's up?
What's going on? Yeah, I had to do a quick little code update there. I had a comma in the wrong place. That's why I didn't appear the first time. But hey, that's what nerds do. We adjust and improvise, adapt, and overcome on the fly. But yeah, Phoenix. So definitely a tough track to run. There is no real line here because most of the time they will use that apron. Especially there on that front stretch where the start-finish line is. They'll dive down, and nowadays, Jeremy, they've been using that apron in the corners like they used to back in the days of Darlington, early Darlington, before they used to wall ride it above the white line. They used to go way down low, so there's going to be multiple lines everywhere. They're going to be all over the place tonight. It's going to be completely different. And drivers are going to have their heads on a swivel big time throughout this entire race, because not every driver is going to take the same line. Some drivers may go down, some may not, and if they try to merge back up, they got to be careful on that. But what a season, like you said. Our championship for Bobby Mantle, Joshua Slade, JJ McCoy, and Chad McGinley, but McGinley not here. He's actually at Phoenix in real life watching the championship cup race going on. He was actually there all weekend. So right now, I mean, the championship, it's up in the air. I mean, any one of these three drivers could take it. They all are equally as competitive and equally have the skill, Jeremy. It's going to be one hell of a race tonight.
Gonna be a great race. As lights go down here in Phoenix, these guys are gonna do wonders here tonight. For you guys who are gonna be tuning in and watching this championship race. I was kind of smirking, Dustin. I'm sorry, I've sidetracked. Well, maybe we can get it in qualifying, but Ron Harrington's paint scheme is the best all year, and it's not because of the paint job. It's the sponsors, and we'll go over that.
Okay,
so we can get them.
I'm intrigued.
Funny. It is amazing. We'll just say that. And yeah, well, qualifying's up here live. So we're gonna go to that full screen and we're gonna try to follow along here. Fastest guy in practice looks like it was Joshua Slade, who that's kind of weird. They left him as a championship contender on my screen here. Actually, no, he is. Never mind. I'm sorry. I'm all mixed up with that paint job. But here we go. We're gonna wait for the fastest truck on track to pop into qualifying, which it looks like all the way to Stephen Hayes, 6th fastest. And there's Joshua Slade in the 12. He's finally on track here. And qualifying is crazy. Like turn 1 and turn 2, you can run up the second groove. There's not necessarily progressively banked, but there's just extra grip up there for what reason? Which he's going to do that there to warm up the tires. But 3 and 4, it's all stuck to the bottom. 1 and 2, though, it's almost discretion up to you. If you go below the yellow, hug the yellow, or go up to the second lane.
Yeah, and you see he's running the high line in 3 and 4 as well, just to try to get some heat in those tires there. You're going to see him dive it down below that yellow line. That's going to be commonplace tonight, Jeremy. We're going to see a lot of trucks going below that yellow on that apron. Didn't stay down there long, but he is electing to go to that top side in 1 and 2 that you talked about for that extra grip patch that is up there for whatever reason that we do not know. But again, he's going to take it to the top again. So he's running that high side, Jeremy, trying to utilize that grip patch up there as much as possible. As he's going to come across the line now, he's going to dive it down. Now he's going to sit here and put his burner on. Went way low on that one. I expect him to run it probably, 1 and 2 the same way. But I would expect 3 and 4. He's probably going to run it a little lower than what he had been, Jeremy.
Yeah, he's going to run the thing to the yellow line. I think that's the fastest way around Phoenix. There he goes, right to it. It almost reminds you of Milwaukee. We just try to get next to that wall on corner entry as best you can. Great exit for the 12 off of turn 4. Comes across the line 26.415, which is just over 1/10 slower than his fastest practice time at a 3:09. Currently puts him back there in P8 with that 4:15. Actually, no, it's starting to file in there. P1 as my scoring pylon on the iRacing UI is taking its sweet time tonight for me to update. P1 for him. Now we're riding on board with a couple other drivers. There's Michael Hayes in the number 1 as he's off turn number 2. And this is the back half of his first lap.
Yeah, so I would expect him to keep it high again, much like Slade did. Try to build the heat up and pressures up in those tires. Now he's going to take that deep dive all the way downtown. Going to come right back up again, and he is going to elect to run that mid to high line again. Right around that mid. He's going to try to diamond and cut that off, and I would expect him to paint that yellow line the fastest way around 3 and 4, Jeremy.
Here he goes, right to it. Great entry, sticks it very nicely. That's what you want to see here. Up against the wall on exit, and he runs an identical lap time. Him and Stephen Hayes, the Hayes, with identical lap times. That's kind of odd.
Yeah, the brothers Hayes, 26.44, had to go to the 3rd decimal spot. We're on board with Brody Marinko right now. He had a little bit of wall scrub there, a little too close to the wall. That's going to invalidate this time here. You get any type of X at all, even a 0X, it will invalidate a qualifying time per iRacing race stewards. But he is going to cross the line. This will be an official time lap. Deep dive down. Will he take the high? Will he take the mid? He elects to take the lower side, Jeremy. One of the first drivers we caught on camera, so we've seen it from all three perspectives through turns 1 and 2. We've seen it high, we've seen it in the mid, and we've seen it low. So far, the high and the mid sit P1 and P2. Where's this low line going to bring him as he comes out of turn 4 right now? Crossing the line, that's going to bank him at P1, Jeremy, 26.32.
I thought he overdid the entrance of 3, but no, that was flawless according to the timing sheets here. The only driver to hit the .3 in this qualifying session, P1 for the 54 of Brody Marinko. 14 out of the 17 have posted time. We have 2-1 qualifying over. And that is it. Brody Marinko gets the final pole of the 2020-24 year. And now as soon as these drivers get filed in for the grid here for the GRL Championship for question mark, we'll let them take a second to do so. In the meantime, we're going to thank our series sponsor one last time, Martin Sports, over at martinsports.gg, for all your team apparel needs as far as custom jerseys, or if you want to buy some pre-bought ones ready to go, or if you want a specialty gloves for sim racing. This is the third version they've worked on, and they are some of the best, if not the best, on the market. Hands stay perfectly dry during a long endurance race, no problem, and extra grip on the wheel. If you want something like that, head yourself over to martinsports.gg, 25% off with code SUPERNERD at checkout. And here we go. Here's the starting lineup for the final race of 2024. Brody Marinko is going to be P1 to his outside in second, Joshua Slade. Row 2 is going to be Michael Hayes and Stephen Hayes with the identical lap times, 4:40. So they had to go to the 4th decimal place for those two. Row 3 will be Bobby Mantle in 5th. JJ McCoy does take 6th. Row 4 will be Clayton White in 7th. John Howard in 8th. Row 5, EJ Luna in 9th. Mark Sherwood in 10th. Row 6, Bradley Miner in 11th. Ron Harrington in 12th. 13th in row 7 is Justin LeBlanc. 14th, Danny White. Row 8 will be somebody random in SC Knight in 16th, and Ronald Holmes will be the final position in field here this evening. It says 17 entries. It's actually 16. It's an even number, and I'm pretty sure of that there as our screen goes toast. Do we have feed, Dustin?
Whoa, there we go.
There we go. Even the cameras don't want to cooperate. My scoring pylon's going slow. Your camera's turning black.
Well, and that's the reason why my name is actually in there. iRacing would not allow me to join to watch. The only way it would allow me to join was to actually register for this session. So I guess I get an official, unofficial start. First ever in Global Racing League Truck Series history. Broadcaster gets an official start while producing in the booth.
I wish you luck out there, sir. Stay clean. Appreciate all 15 of y'all joining in now. On the...
Oh, Ron Harrington, man. We're looking at his truck.
Oh, you got big ass designs on there.
Betty's crocked. Oh, I love it. Betty White on there. I tell you what, she was a true G. Love Betty White, man. She was a national treasure, still is, and always will be.
The hood logo says Yeetios. There's so many gems on that thing. We'll get more TV time on it, I guarantee it. Pace cars down. They're guaranteed not to hit the barrels tonight, unlike the Cup Series here today. If you're curious about that, go to their page and watch the pace car hit sand barrels. Here we go. Green flag is out. Contact before even the start-finish line twice now. Joshua Slade, Brody Marinko. Joshua, this is a championship race. You do not need to be doing this. We are 4 wide, 4 abreast in turn number 1 here. We're going to start this thing off hot and heavy. Still 4 wide, still 4 wide. Are we going to hold it through? Oh my gosh, Dustin.
Wow. Oh my, you can't fit anything in between these drivers.
Ew, no contact either.
They drivers meeting, they told them to kind of keep it easy a little bit. Drivers out there for a championship, and they're like, what? Hold my beer, 4 wide for a whole lap. Let's go. But no, Joshua Slade, that one there, to me, Jeremy, that looked like he was expecting Brody Marinko to go below the apron, which is not required per drivers. That's by driver choice, and Marinko wasn't going to, so he went to turn down thinking that Marinko was going to go below the apron, and that spot was held by Marinko above the apron.
Yep, that very well could have been it with a double tap to his outside door panel. 2 laps now complete. Joshua with a 4 to 5 truck length advantage over that 54 Brody Marinko. Contact. Bobby Mantle loose.
No!
Championship contender. Misses the water barrels. Caution is out on lap 3. And Dustin, that could have ended everything for him really early.
Oh, he just saw his life flash before his eyes, especially with those water barrels coming in as hard as what they were. But he was able to lock it down, not get hit by anybody else. We're going to watch the replay of the Boomer button box caution here. This is caution number 1. They're going into the corner here, Jeremy, and it just looks like slight contact there, and that was just enough to upset the truck of Bobby Mantle, and he's gonna loop it, and he's gonna lock it down, just missing the barrels. Everybody else missing them. He just stops. Let everybody by before I throw this thing in reverse.
Yeah, almost from that view, it looked like the one maybe came down. I couldn't tell exactly, but that was very, very close to ending Lady Night's day. And here's another view from the Nerd TV replay. So we're going to see who comes up, who goes down, and that is a little bit of both.
And
Bobby was a very slow gradual climb up the track, and Michael Hayes turned down for exit of corner.
And a little bit of air pocket in between, too, so that didn't help matters.
Definitely did not help, and that air pocket punches. It's not just contact, or else you would have saw, like we did, 4 wide on that. That was still, I am impressed. A whole lap 4 wide almost.
Yeah, it's especially at this track. I mean, this that is something that you do not see every time, especially at a track like this here, is 4 wide when you're going into it. And I mean, these drivers were putting on a show. And look at that, Mantle, Marinko, and you got the Hayes brothers, all 4 of them, 4 wide going through this. That is not something you see at Phoenix very often. And Jeremy, they held this for 3/4 of a lap like this. You want to talk about, I mean, just a test of endurance and pure skill. This is what Global Racing League puts on right here. That was lap 1 of the championship race.
Just watch it. Just Mantle backs out of it. And then, contact, actually. I did not catch that. It looked like sparks flew off Stephen Hayes' 13, getting to the entrance of turn 3, and he had to back it down, thinking maybe he was going to get sandwiched harder than that. And it quickly brought it to 2 wide on the YouTube side. Head nerd in charge, self-proclaimed, or actually proclaimed by you, Brandy Loxton, saying, hey, I'm here. Sorry for the late join. By the way, that snack, though, listen here, Brandy.
What do we got?
The extra cheesy Cheez-Its right next to me.
Oh, my man. Always has that snack.
Always with that snack. Haven't cracked it just yet, but it is here for tonight's occasion. You better believe it.
Absolutely. And I tell you what, with the action that these drivers are going to be putting on, if that first lap of the initial start is any testament of the action we're going to be seeing tonight, Jeremy, we are in for quite the treat tonight by the drivers of the Global Racing League Truck Series. Again, championship on the line. 4 drivers on the card for the championship, but only 3 in attendance going for it. Chad McGinley not in attendance, but that leaves Joshua Slade, currently resides P1. Your next closest one after that is actually going to be J.J. McCoy back in 13th, and Bobby Mantle back in 14th. They elected to come to pit road after that last exchange. So that is your championship running right now. Joshua Slade looking really good. But again, Jeremy, we have a lot of laps.
You're going to see those names on the scoring pylon on the right-hand side tonight. They're going to be in green. Keeping up with those 3, 89, 12, and 22. Pace truck down. I'm just going to restart this race on lap 8. Looks like we get 4 pacing laps per caution. Just a fun notation there. And yes, those are quite yummy, to quote Brandy Loxton on the chat. And there we go. Green flag back underway. 12 really goes down low this time. Says, hey, Mariko, this is how you restart at Phoenix. And he's going to clear him 2 truck links, maybe even 3 getting off into turn 1 and 2 side by side for the back half of the field here. Continues to hold that grip patch in the first set of corners. Definitely helps this 2x2 situation. So we're focusing on the 46, 85, and championship contender JJ McCoy in 3.
Yeah, JJ McCoy, Bobby Mantle, they got a lot of work ahead of them to try to get back by a lot of these drivers. Definitely doable. They got more than enough time to get by them, more than an ample amount of time to do it. They just got to be smart, not be in the muck or in the mess, and more importantly, Jeremy, not burn their tires up trying to come up through the field too aggressively. That catches a lot of drivers, in a bad spot. I would have to say that that's probably what cost Ryan Blaney a championship, his second championship of his career tonight, was trying to work up to catch Joey Logano in the Cup race tonight. By the time he got there, his tires were just too gone. Could not make that pass as EJ Luna is loose through 1 and 2.
You saw that too, man. He was sideways through turn 1 and 2. Able to hang on to it. One of the drivers who likes to run things a little bit more on edge compared to some others. And he's got championship driver right behind him in Ghost Motorsports, JJ McCoy, who's currently running in P11 right now. Unable to progress because he's got 2 wide in front of him as he's kind of looking at Joshua Slade running the race in first and his teammate right behind him. So these Ghost drivers need to figure out what they're going to do with one and only Joshua Slade.
If you mean Grim Reaper Motorsports drivers, then yes.
Oh, I did.
You did it again. Jeremy means Grim Reaper Motorsports drivers. They got 2 drivers in the championship right now that are in attendance. Only 1 for One of One Motorsports, but right now he's leading it right now, Jeremy. He's leading it. He's putting time and space and trucks in between himself and the other 2 championship contenders. And like you said, he's got a teammate right behind him. I would have to believe that his teammate is going to have a little leniency when running that 12, knowing the championship implications. We do that with Nerd Esports as well. We always try to put the driver that has the championship. That's who we try to help. We did it with Kenny Bishop a couple seasons ago in OP. That's what teammates do. So right now, Joshua Slade in all the right places right now, and JJ McCoy, Bobby Mantle. They still got a little work to go, but Jeremy, they did both finally just crack the top 10.
And I just cracked my box of Cheez-Its because after making that team mistake flop, I don't want that happening again. So maybe I'll be right next time on the team call-outs. But single file everybody is. You see one driver, I think it was 78, John Howard. He goes really wide in 3 and 4. Not going to see that too often. The grip level's not so much there as it is in 1 and 2, in which you kind of see it spaced out a little bit. You see the 44. Mr. Mark Sherwood just naturally taking the second lane. There's a couple other drivers doing the same thing. Your top runners, though, still hugging the yellow line for the most part. You see coming off of turn 4 here, completing lap 15. Slade has it by 2 truck lengths over Marinko. Michael Hayes in 3rd. Clayton White up 3 positions. He's in 4th now, so things are getting a little bit closer and closer to the leader. It almost looks like Marinko is holding back the 1 in the 14.
Yeah, it's the one of Mike Hayes has tried to tackle the rear bumper of Brody Marinko a number of times, and at the same time you see Clayton White take that heavy dive down that front stretch down to the apron. So right now Michael Hayes is in a tough spot because he's faster, just the way it looks on the track, than Brody Marinko. But at the same time, he's getting pressured by the 14 of Clayton White, and you see just that little bit of slip-up that's going to put Clayton White on the inside, Brody Marinko on the inside of Joshua Slade. There's your pass for the lead, Joshua Slade back. But remember, Joshua Slade does not have to win the race to win the championship, much like Allgaier in the Xfinity Series yesterday, who finished 2nd. does not have to win that race. He just has to finish higher than J.J. McCoy and Bobby Mantle tonight.
And we will see how that plays out. We know practice times. Joshua Slade is the fastest, but Bobby Mantle is second quick. Is only a half a hundredth off, which is nothing. So the speed's there. We just have to get a caution or two to put themselves back into a position. But right now, I thought 54 was holding up the field. I guess the 12 of Slade was actually holding up this front group. He's now letting Michael Hayes and the one on the outside from actual Ghost Motorsports. He's going to make that pass on the outside of 3 and 4 even.
Yeah, taking it on the outside. And you talked about, practice time speeds of Bobby Mantle compared to Joshua Slade. Wasn't that far off. Something else, too, I made mention of this a few weeks back. It's the Mantle game. Not the mental game, the Mantle game. We know Bobby Mantle is a driver that paces himself. Probably one of the veteran drivers that can pace and stretch tires out to no extent whatsoever. About another driver, Chad McGinley, is just like that, and it just so happens to be his teammate. So one could say that, they do share information. They do share tricks and tips. Something else to keep in mind, if this race goes long run like that, we are looking at a driver right now on screen who had probably one of the best victories on fuel mileage alone, calculating it while driving in the truck, and was able to bring that back out. So we've got to keep that in mind. But we do have a caution. This looks like it's going to involve the 85 of LeBlanc and the 78 of John Howard.
He races that long run talk that you were just doing there, but maybe we'll get it later on. And yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a wiggle situation from LeBlanc. He's going to do
loose.
It there.
Yep.
Gets loose, turns up. Bam. Contact.
And around goes both of them. But, the good thing is a lot of pavement down there, Jeremy. So a lot of time to let those tires, you're going to flat spot them, but allow those tires to grip. No inside wall contact for either driver. So that's the plus side to it. But just a little bit of a looseness there out of the 85 of LeBlanc, and just a little bit of a overcorrection to the right into the left rear of John Howard.
Pit road's underway. Taking our first picture-in-picture commercial break as they get their virtual fuel and maybe some tires. We'll be right back. And back to full screen here as we are getting set for the second restart tonight. Going to be resuming this race on lap 27. Looking through the field so far, flip-flop situation with pit road. Joshua Slade was second or third at the time of that caution. He fell back to 9th, so he's got some work all of a sudden to do. But the other guys from Grim Reaper, JJ McCoy restarting in 4th, Bobby Mantle in 5th. They now have the upper hand over the 3 total drivers in this event. So we'll see how in this restart what Joshua Slade can do to get back to that top 5 where he's been all night long for the first 25 laps.
Pit strategy, Jeremy. Pit strategy already taken a front seat to this championship race. Pace car is off. Brody Marinko leads them. Green flag flies. Brody Marinko jumps out to a start. Elects to take the apron approach this time here as all the drivers fan out almost 4 wide as they dive it off into turn 1, Jeremy.
3 wide, still holding 3 wide as we go through turns 1 and 2. Still holding it. It's not 4 wide, but it's just, and we have a caution. Just like that, we're going to back it on down for the 3rd time here this evening. 78 John Howard looks like he is involved in this one as a self-spin as he hits the inside wall. As we're going to take a look at that. Actually, 64 Danny White. Yeah, look at this. This is going to be some heavy impact.
Oh, yeah. Danny White came in hard, not expecting that. Oh, man. LeBlanc, Harrington. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, Danny White came into that corner not expecting that much of a slow up by the 78 of John Howard. And, man, did he... Yeah, he filed in pretty hard on that one there. We're going to watch this full speed. You can see it right there, and that was enough just to upset it. And then off and around they go. And there you see LeBlanc get involved, Harrington get involved. I'd have to say the one that probably took the most damage on that one, though, was probably Danny White, as he got clobbered by the wall, plus 2 other trucks in that exchange.
Yeah, and then we did not catch. John Howard lost it off a turn 2 exit up there in the marbles. Got loose and hit the inside wall after the fact, so... It was, I would say, a direct correlation between the first and the second. You're going to see the contact here. Boops him out of the line right now. He's way up at the top stuff. He got a little loose there. And he just naturally slides it and bonk to the left front there. So decent damage to the 78 as well.
Yeah, and it almost looked like the 78 got out of it there after that initial contact from the 64, Danny White. But like you said, just got up too high. I mean, you know, we've got a number of laps on this track already, so the rubber marbles are starting to build up on the top side of that track. And to put this into perspective, when you run up there in those marbles like that, especially under high speeds like that, you know, the weight of these trucks shifting the way it is, it's almost like you hit a patch of black ice. You don't know when it's going to break free like that. It's almost like you're driving in wintertime or cold conditions with wet roads. You know the chances there, you just don't know when it's going to happen. That's how it is up there with those marbles. You know, John Howard stayed up there a good amount, and he hit that patch of black ice, that marble ice, if you want to call it, coming out of the corner there, and that's where it was. That's when it flipped it.
Yep, that's what it was. It just you went having from a decent amount of grip to where did my grip go? And that's what we saw. And no pit stops are going to be had this time around, except for the ones that got involved in this wreck. 3 cautions now within 30 laps, so we're averaging just less than 10 laps per. So we're probably going to go green flag around lap 32, maybe 33, depending on when these pace lights turn off. You know, see if we can do it again. I love the restarts at Phoenix. They cause some creative messes. 3 wide, 4 wide. We've seen it all at this point. And this is keeping things exciting because we don't know who's going to be advantaged when and where. We've seen Joshua Slade in front of the guys. Then all of a sudden now we have JJ McCoy leading the thing for the top 3 with Bobby Mantle right next door. It's going to get really fun here as this race continues to wind down.
Well, and then you add in the fact that you don't know what lines the other drivers are going to take. I mean, when you go to other tracks, you typically know what lines they're going to take. Okay, are they going to take the inside or are they going to take the mid at most tracks? This one here, it's, hey, are they going to take the mid? Are they going to take the low line? Are they going to take the the apron? Are they going to take the way low apron? You have no idea when it comes to this. So it is literally a complete Hail Mary on every green flag restart for these drivers until they can get sorted out and filed out and get back in line.
The way low apron is what it's being called now.
Oh, the way low. That's way downtown.
Way low. W-H-E-Y. Way low. There we go. Green flag is out. 54 with a decent jump over the field. 2 truck links between him and the one Michael Hayes. 3 wide again. 2 of them being teammates, championship contenders. Still 3 wide. McCoy's got a decent run on the bottom. It looks like he's going to clear. Does not. Now the 89 is going to let him in. 2 wide. Just like that, back to normal racing. Oh, Slade's going to drive in a little deep. Has to check it up just a touch. Still holds on to the exit there as the Bob Mantle gets a little bit of a internet warp situation.
Yeah, and what is crazy now, Jeremy, is for the first time since we really started racing, all 3 of your championship contenders are in the same frame right now. They are all fighting for the same position. Right now, Slade and Mantle are now battling for that 5th position, that last position in the top 5. But if the race were to end right now, the championship would go to JJ McCoy, who holds 4th. That is how close this championship point standings are for tonight's event.
And they're all bumper to bumper, essentially, on the pylon. 4th, 5th, and 6th is their current positions on track right now. 65, Chad McGinley. Sorry, you wouldn't be a part of this, but you got to enjoy Joey Logano win the Cup race and championship. I don't know if my free ticket was worth that.
I would have given it away. Ha ha!
I'm going to give it away, knowing Penske does what they do at Phoenix when you don't show up for half the year. But enough of that. We're going to rotate now to what could be a lead change situation. The one of Michael Hayes really closing in on Marinko. Half a truck linked through 3 and 4. He's going to dive it deep to the bottom. This will put him side by side and maybe make the pass effort happen in turn 1.
Yeah, side by side, and that's where that apron is. But you see what it does. They have to check up so much with that super low entry into the corner there that the 54 Marinko is able just to power back around again. But this battle's been going on now for a couple laps, Jeremy. Mike Hayes in that one has really been putting the pressure on. And you can tell because they are pulling away from JJ McCoy and company. So right now, McCoy and Stephen Hayes are running 3rd and 4th. And I say that because that battle is also going on. And then right behind him, you got another battle, and that's Mantle and Slade. So, Jeremy, we got battles for race positions. We got battles for championship positions. And we're only on lap 37 of 150 total circuits around this track.
Yeah, 10-4 on that. These guys separating. The good race right now is on your screen. The 22 leading this charge. 3rd place is the 22. He's got the 13 and the 89 side by side right behind him. Joshua Slade trying to pass. Looks like he has the speed right now. He just kind of stuck between the 89-13. As we're going to lift off from the drone camera attached to the 89 of Mantle. And we're going to fly backwards at 150 miles an hour here down the Phoenix front stretch.
Yeah, a good view of this race. The different lines that you see drivers go through. You see McCoy on the mid. Stephen Hayes is on the bottom. You see Mantle Slade. We're also on the mid. And, I mean, it is different all the way around this track, Jeremy. And the question is, though, is what tires are going to hold up and, you know, how hard these drivers are running it right now. We're only 40 laps in. We've already seen a pit road cycle for all the drivers right now. But as you see, these drivers are starting to kind of get spaced out now. They're starting to get that single file line. So now it's going to start getting into, you know, hey, what's this going to bring? As we see a battle right now going on between the one of Mike Hayes and the 54 Brody Marinko. They're side by side coming off the corner. Big cut down there And look at that spacing, though, just from that cut down to the apron.
Yeah, it's effective. It's just very bouncy. And if your truck's on edge, don't do it. It's not worth it. But right now, these two are doing it, and it has paid off for them up to this point here. So we're completing lap 41 of scheduled 150 laps. We're approaching the 100 to go lap mark at 9 left from now. Looking still on back from the 13. Everybody else single file. Starting to really space this thing out here. You see the alternating lines. 89 Mantle going to run that second to third. Joshua Slade's going to maintain his run right up against the yellow line. As we go back to TV camera here. Going to pop up the iRacing iFlag map of the track. And we're going to take a look at it. It's not bad considering we've only went green flag 10 laps ago. But still, it's like a quarter of the track taken up. See your leaders all bunched up in there, then it starts to really taper off at the end. And this is what you get when you have a short track / intermediate track all in the same configuration.
Yeah. And the longer it goes, I mean, the more spread out it's going to get, especially if you start factoring in some green flag pit stops, as we got a good battle for the race lead here. Marinko on the inside, Mike Hayes on the outside. Hayes electing to go opposite from what he had been. He had been trying to dive it low on that apron, but now, contact made as they go down that backstretch right now. Diving it off into 3, coming out of 4. They are nose to nose. Jeremy, who is going to lead this lap? Looks like it's going to go to Mike Hayes, and he'll complete that pass and dive it to the apron. New leader, lap 45, number 1, Mike Hayes.
Look at that. Finally to the point, qualified third and been lurking all race long to finally lead a lap, and he gets it done on lap 44. As you see, JJ McCoy is securely taken third now. Bobby Mansell looking to do the same thing over Stephen Hayes. Going to put a strong fight up there. And then you still see Joshua Slade just waiting patiently. Very conservative route the 12 is taking this time, considering he's usually the one being aggressive, getting to the front right away. He's going to play the long run this time as we're 13 laps into this green flag cycle. This right here is still the best battle on track.
Yeah, and like you said, I mean, we are used to seeing the 12 of Joshua Slade take that more aggressive approach, try to get to the front, stay at the front, or at least near the front. And this one here, I mean, he has battled side by side with the 89 of Mantle, the 22 of McCoy, but has found himself content in the early stages of this race, just staying right in striking distance of these drivers. So not really pressing the issue, but if a mistake happens, he's there to pounce and capitalize on it. So smart championship driving by really all 3 of these drivers, because we know that all 3 of these drivers have speed. We know that the 2 on screen right now, Mantle and Slade, those 2 are your 2 fastest in practice. Slade P1, Mantle P2, and just barely off in P2. So we know they have the speed. So getting to the front's not the issue. They have the speed. So smart driving by these 2 drivers and McCoy, because he's only two trucks ahead of them.
And speaking of speed, to have the competitive advantage over your opponents each week in and week out, there's a certain website you should visit, and that's going to be raceepi.com, Elite Performance Industries. Some of the best setups on a wide range of vehicles, not just A, B, and C, but they go to the dirt oval, the dirt road. They got a bunch of short track stuff, a lot of it. And they come at a great price, considering they're going to get you in victory lane. I guarantee it. Not only are they fast setups, but they're also not super on edge like some of the other companies would be out there. And that's going to be at raceepi.com. Visit them today.
Yeah, open setup, company. It's definitely a good one to have. This is Global Racing League Truck Series action. This is an open setup league as well. All these drivers are running custom setups, whether it's a setup they've gotten from a setup shop or a custom setup that they have built themselves. But this is not a fixed setup league. So when you want that competitive edge, you know where you need to go to look.
And as I was doing that ad read, Brody Marinko slightly grazed the wall of turn 2 exit with his right rear. as he does it again right there off of turn 4. So 2 times he's found the outside blue wall. But look who's lurking. Getting a little bit closer and closer. Is this 22 JJ McCoy, who this tells me, Dustin, this is the longest run we've had tonight. And he is the fastest truck out of the Championship 3. So this is good. This is very good to see from the 22 if you're cheering him on tonight.
Oh, absolutely. And JJ McCoy has stated in previous, Nerd TV podium segment interviews before that he has felt that at certain tracks his long run is probably what lacks a little bit. So to see him pace himself and have that long run speed right now, that's an amazing thing for him. Not so amazing for these 2 drivers back here who are battling. Those are the 2 championship contenders that he's beaten right now on the track. But, it's great to see that long run speed in there. And speaking of speed, Jeremy, it's heating up between Mantle and Slade right now. As Slade is, he's looking like he's wanting to try to be aggressive and try to get closer to the front here before we come to pit stops, which pit window, Jeremy, on a normal run. So that's from start to finish. You'll get about 69 to 71 laps. So we'll just call it 70 laps there. Looks like Stephen Hayes into the wall a little bit there. 89, and Mantle's going to capitalize on that. So we'll call it 70 laps roughly. Now, you can go 70 laps, but you have to make those tires last that long if we get the chance to go long green flag runs like that.
That tells me this puts these guys right around lap 100 when they have to pit at most. So that tells me again that this will be their final green flag pit stop, and only one, big if, we don't have any more cautions here this evening. So if we get to lap 100, those guys that are going to be pitting, they better make sure it is the best pit stop they've had in all of 2024 to put themselves in position, because the top 3 are right now, once more, 3rd, 4th, 5th, bumper to bumper on the pylon. You like to see this when you're watching a championship race, but this thing could well be decided on pit road.
Oh, it very well could, Jeremy. I mean, you and I both know through years of sim racing that races have been won and lost on pit road, especially during green flag pit stops. You lose a second on the track, Jeremy, and you've already lost about a quarter of the distance on the track. If you lose a second in pit road. Oh, Joshua Slade, wicked loose, coming out of turn 4 there. Is able to collect it back up, but that puts him side by side with Stephen Hayes again. What a save.
Did an overcorrection, almost slapped the wall. Hands of the race going to the 12 so far. Look at that, so far to the right. He recognizes it left, back to the right.
Woo!
Keeps it off the wall. Well, may be a little touch there, but either way, excellent job from the 12.
Oh, man, that was so close. And that's the slip. Here's the overcorrection. I don't think he hit it, Jeremy. That was so close, though.
I agree with you. Clean way to not hit the wall. But style points don't count in the playoffs, so just remember that. Getting loose, Joshua always the guy who runs this truck on edge. And if he's loose now, remember, you said they have another window of potentially 40 laps. That's a long time to run your truck on ice.
It really is, Jeremy. But, I mean, these things here, we've seen it before. If you back it down, let your tires kind of regain a little life, breathe a little life back into them, so to speak, you can get that truck back to driving potential. And on the longer runs, I mean, depending on the setup, you will hit different stages. You'll hit the initial stage on fresh tires where the thing is just, it's pristine. I mean, it feels perfect. You can run it anywhere you want. And then as you get like 10, 15 laps into it, you're going to hit another stage. And that could be where maybe the truck is just, it's too tight. You can't turn it in the corner as much. You have to back that corner up a little bit more, or maybe it's too loose. And then once you go about another 15 laps, 10 to 15 laps, it's going to hit another stage where it's going to balance itself out. So we could be in that loose to tight stage there that Joshua Slade usually hits about every race. And then, you know, it's depending on the setup and how he's got it set up, it may work its way back out.
Yeah, and a couple of drivers like him and the 13 and EJ Luna, the run that they're putting up on the very top of the track in 1 and 2, they have got that third, fourth lane hooked up. They have cleared the marbles from the top, and they're running it deep up there. Not so much that time around, but the time prior was really impressive stuff. And I think you're not live. No, I'm not live. I'm not live. I was like, wait, my screen looks different here, but we're good now. We are good. Why do I never trust you? I should never trust myself. Here we go. You're watching live. But yeah, look at that. Look at that. Up against the wall. And they're doing it nose to tail, too. They said, I don't care about the aerodynamic advantage. Slade is just running completely to the back bump of the 13.
Yeah, and they'll go down in 3 and 4. I mean, that's the typical line you want to run, down in 3 and 4. But watch, we'll see if they do it again. That's Stephen Hayes in the 13. We're on board with Joshua Slade, and they are up in that third groove. And look at Hayes. Hayes is way up there, and you see he got a little loose on that one there, yawing it out just a little too much. But I mean, a lot of people are, you know, they'll say that, oh, they're driving the truck too hard, but that's typically how you want to drive these NASCAR. Oh, not like that though. Oh, and Stephen Hayes is around. No. Oh,
just like that. Caution for the 4th time on lap 66, and this is involving the 13 who got loose like Slade did, but the overcorrection was much worse. And here we go, Nerd TV replay.
Yeah, and he got in again, and you see he was out of shape instantly on corner exit. It looked like he had to turn it down a little bit more than expected to stay out of Slade, and the truck did not like that, and off and around goes the 13. A little bit of crinkle on the front, a little bit of crinkle on the back, but otherwise not too bad. But what I was saying before that happened, Jeremy, was you typically want to drive these NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series trucks off of that right rear. That is where you're going to get your speed, so you're going to yaw it out a little bit because you're going to put more on that right rear to get that speed and get that bite and cut through the corner. Sometimes, like what happened with Stephen Hayes, whoa! Okay. Sometimes it's a little too much.
Yeah, absolutely. Here, and they're under caution again. We're going to take another picture in pictures. These guys get their stuff refueled up and whatnot. We'll be right back. Full screen, 1 lap to go here as we're going to go back to green flag racing on lap 71. So this will be 80 laps to go at the line for this race. Dustin's already advertised the fuel window is 70 laps at most. So these guys are still guaranteed 1 more pit stop, whether that be caution or green flag. That'll be determined in time. Michael Hayes on the inside is going to be starting off P1. Brody Marinko second, and then playoff drivers 3rd, 4th, and 5th. JJ McCoy, Bobby Mantle, Joshua Slade. This will be fun to see if they go 3 wide all with each other, or if they give room just about halfway into this GRL Championship 4 question mark race. And here we go. Green flag is out here. Great start from the number 1. About 1 to 2 truck lengths, cuts it down low. And what will the playoff guys do? They're going to actually space themselves out. Slade's going to go straight up to the 4th groove. And JJ McCoy said, you go to the top there. Joshua, I'm going to go for the race lead.
Oh, yeah. He, was like fired out of a cannon there. Got side by side with Marinko. Got up to Mike Hayes, but then lost everything on corner exit. They had that top line momentum that allowed them to get by, and that just closed Joshua Slade up. So now Joshua Slade right behind JJ McCoy. McCoy now goes to that 2nd groove, trying to follow suit to see what he can't do. But Jeremy, even so, if the race ended right now, championship would go to JJ McCoy. Again, you do not have to win the race to win the championship. You just have to finish better than the other 2 championship competitors in the race tonight.
And for that, and then a little bit of a news there. Bobby Mantle, where did he go? Well, he's back to 13th. He came down only on the 2nd pit lap, not the 1st. They issued a black flag for him, and he had to get that all resolved. Not sure why he pit on the 2nd lap around, but either ways, he's good to go. He's on the lead lap. He's just 3 seconds away. He was in 3rd, or 5th rather, on the pylon, but had to bolt down pit road for whatever reason, and now he's got a very tough hill to climb.
Yeah, and that's a tough break. It really is for a driver. So the rules are with iRacing stewards is you can come down pit road on the 2nd time around before coming to the 1 to go, but you have had to have come down pit road the 1st time around in order for that to be open and available for you. If you do not come down the 1st lap and come down the 2nd, iRacing stewards will issue you a black flag. That's why most drivers will just drive through pit road, because that signifies that they have come down pit road, and then they'll make their stop on the 2nd one, and that's how they alleviate that black flag. But this was not the case or the luck for the 89 of Bobby Mantle.
Oh no, JJ. I was going to say, great race here between 2 of our championship contenders, and JJ just smashes the ball. Self-caused damage is the worst headache you can produce to yourself inside one of these trucks or cars on iRacing. When you're a race car driver and you cause damage to yourself, he's going to be beating himself up if his truck gets really tight from this point on. That was a hard impact. He's going to try to maintain here. So we go to the inside here. We'll have to see how the speed looks like on the 22. Right now it doesn't look too bad, but we're only 1 lap in from that large hit. And turn 4 gets close to Slade's back bumper. Checks up 14 Clayton White, putting pressure on the inside left quarter panel. Decides to back it down, single file to 3.
Yeah, that was definitely a hard lick from the 22 there. And then out of the very next set of corners, he does a tail slide against the wall, shooting sparks up. So right now, those cold tires, they're under temperature, they're under pressure. They just come down and got them. It usually takes about 4 laps or so to really get them built back up. But right now, the 22, Jeremy, just seems like he's out of sorts. It's not the same truck we seen prior to that last Boomer button box caution that came out. So I don't know if it's maybe caused by the damage, or maybe if he made some changes. And what a save by Clayton White there!
Yeah, where'd he go?
Well, there was a little bit of air pocket in between him and the 22, and it just fired him down. Right here, you're gonna see it, and it just fires him straight down. He misses the pit road wall and just rides the momentum right back up again. So what a wow, that was a good save by Clayton White, because if he wouldn't have had that thing under control, yeah, a little bit of contact right there. If he wouldn't have had it under control, he would have pinged it right off that pit wall right there.
And the camera angle I was watching, I didn't see anything of that contact. I just saw the white truck go from left to right on my screen. I'm like, whoa, what happened there? And thankfully, he was able to miss the wall, and now he's trying to get back at passing the 22. And this damage has affected JJ McCoy. It looks like Joshua Slade has pulled out 10, maybe 12 truck lengths ahead of the 22, which that contact happened about 10 laps prior. He's fallen off the pace. We know Grim Reaper has the long run speed. It's just right now Joshua's outperforming him at this point. And speaking of Bobby Mantle, he's picked up 5 spots since we last talked about him. He was in 13th. Now he's in 8th place. But he's still overall lost time on the leader now, 3.8 back this lap.
Yeah, and he still has a lot of trucks to pass right now. Right now he's trying to, his next target's the 46 of Brad Miner. And Jeremy, we said this time and time again, catching a driver is one thing, passing him is something different. And passing at this track can be difficult. Just because of the runs you can get, the different lines that drivers can take, whether it's through the corner, whether it's, down the front stretch, cutting that apron, whatever the case is. So he's got a lot of work ahead of him. Good thing is he knows that there's at least one more pit stop. They cannot make it on fuel, even though I know Mike Hayes is probably the fuel-saving messiah, so to speak, after his fuel-saving victory, saving 6 laps. I would have to say 11 laps is a very stiff ask for any driver to try to save. Oh, a little bit of contact between Mantle and Miner there. Miner way slow there coming off of that corner there.
Yeah, that could have been a little bit of a situation there. Looking at the 79-46. Door-to-door racing. Off of turn 2. Keeps it nice and clean. Couple of different passes happening on the track at this time. And Dustin, I think it's a great time. We're going to go turn up the tunes and listen to the sounds of these trucks going around Phoenix. Short-lived. Mark Sherwood in the 44. Engine expired, heavy contact on the back straightaway to the inside wall. And this was a 2-parter. I don't know if we're going to be able to see it on replay, but Bradley Miner lost connection at the same time this wreck happened. So this wasn't a self-spin, I don't think. This would have been contact with the 46, who's not on your screen at this time. I'm going to try to back it up and see if we can find it.
Oh, yeah.
There he is. And they make corner exit, and then the 44 is hooked after the fact.
Right there. Oh,
okay, we do.
Yeah.
There's the hook.
Oh man, that is the worst way to get spun, is have the driver get lagged out, but iRacing still registers the truck being there even though it's visibly not, and still lead to that impact to spin like that. That is unfortunate for the 44 Mark Sherwood. Tough break for that driver.
Yeah, engine's toast. Not going to be able to compete the rest of the time. Mark Sherwood, that is. And you see the smoke rolling out the cockpit of that thing and the remnants of it. And, yeah, what are the odds of blinking out and then within that, 3-second window of not being there versus being disconnected, and you happen to just make contact? That is insane. And then Bradley Miner joins back into the session afterwards, and he has no idea what's going on. He just knows he's going to be joining back into a race that's under caution, which is going to be more crazy. And they can't talk to each other. They turn off the chat system during the races here at Global Racing League. So he literally will have zero idea until after the race is over. But what a bizarre wreck right there.
Yeah, or unless he goes back and watches the Nerd TV broadcast after the fact. I mean, he's not going to know, what transpired, and it was to no fault of the 46. I mean, this is when you rely on technology like that, we all know technology has a tendency to be fantastic and phenomenal when it works right, but also has a tendency to flip you the middle finger and say, and not today, Junior. And this was one of those middle finger, not today, Junior moments where the connection for Brad Miner just said, no, hold my beer. I'm going to show you how we really spice things up.
Bradley Miner back on track, getting service to his virtual crew right now. And see if he gets back into the race action. Only 2 laps down, probably going to go 3. And there he goes, pulling out of the pit stall. And he's going to beat the pace truck, I think, off of pit road. Maybe not. No, he does not. So he's going to go 3 laps down. He's going to drive around, I guess. Guess that's clear.
Yep.
Pulls the cold trickle on the field. As we got 1 lap to go. Championship 3. Joshua Slade 2nd, Bobby Mantle 4th, JJ McCoy 5th. That's the current 3 trucks that we're curious about. But your race leader, Michael Hayes, really fast truck from the number 1 here in the Black Rifle Coffee Company Toyota Tundra. See if he can maintain that. Marinko needs a little bit more on this long run if he wants to compete. But he also knows there's been multiple cautions, so what do you do? Do you go for the long run? Do you go for the short run? It's going to be up to these guys to decide that. And things will get interesting. Dustin, we're going back to green flag here on lap number 90. It's going to be 61 to go at the line.
Yeah, 61 to go. Mike Hayes, Joshua Slade lead the way. Green flag flies back underway. Michael Hayes pulls out to a good lead there. That puts Brody Marinko, Joshua Slade side by side. But we could have a 3-wide situation here. No, they pull back in line, and Bobby Mantle gives a little bit of a bump draft. That's right, I said bump draft at Phoenix to Joshua Slade. He's going to get that run on that high side. He may try to overtake Brody Marinko here for P2.
EJ Luna slapped the wall, turn 2, exit there. No harm, no foul to everybody else, though. Ooh, top 5, top 4, single file. 89 with a crossover, though. He's on the inside. Contact to the 54. More contact. They're side by side. This is for 3rd and 4th. And more contact. Gets loose. Great save. Great wheel. To able to not overcorrect into the 54's door panel. They go back single file. Now JJ McCoy right behind them. He's side by side with 13. Trying to get clear of Stephen Hayes. That's the next set of trucks that has a championship driver in it.
Yeah, and that contact you seen from Mantle and Marinko when Mantle came up, that was, again, not realizing that the truck was way up top like that when you go down on the apron. And that's why going down to the apron, I mean, it's fast. You can cut the track, but, man, can it get tricky, and can it put drivers in a real perilous predicament. And that's a whole lot of alliteration there. But you know what? We're going to roll with it. But these drivers so far, Jeremy, they have proven that they can maintain that, and they're putting on a hell of a show. And, I mean, that goes to show. I mean, your championship contenders right now are 2nd, 4th, and 5th. Like, they are all right there.
Dustin, put down the dictionary.
Ah, you found
use these big words out here.
Found my secret, man.
That's his advantage over me right there.
Dictionary.com. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Digital age. We talked about it. It's working fantastic for you. Website in hand. No problem. Side by side. Well, what's side by side? The entire field. Single file right now on lap 94. Headed off to 95. Getting close to 50 to go. A little close there, and should be no pit stops from this point forward. I do believe
you are correct.
Tires that go south,
and even so, I don't think that they'll even do that at this point in time. By the time the tires would have gone to the bad side, Jeremy, if they come into pit, the dark side. If they come in and pit, I don't think they're going to have enough time to circle back around, because if they come down pit road and these guys are pulling sub 30-second laps, they are going to be put a lap down. So they're going to have to circle to get back on the lead lap and then come all the way back around to even compete. There's not going to be enough time. So at this point in time, if it goes green the whole way, I would be in tire conservation mode right now to try to save as much as what I can. Don't lose any more positions, but try to save as much as I can for the end of the race to where you can drive by these other drivers.
Head nerd chief there, Dustin, calling you out, saying buy the book. Kids don't know how to read it. Well, you're the one using the website, so I'll let you figure that out.
It's so much faster though.
Contact. Drove it in deep there, right into the 54's back bumper. Bobby Mantle all over the back. Do we have beef? Oh, more contact, I think. Shoving him deep into the kink there, the dog leg on the front stretch. Now he's going to go to the outside. And that was a half a lap of just contact after contact. Finally gets to the outside. Oh, no. Oh, what a save. What a save, Brody Marico.
What a save indeed. And I don't know if we have beef, but I can tell you this. Bobby Mantle has been working on getting by the 54 right now of Brody Marinko for about the last 4 to 5 laps. And I'm just going to spitball this out here because you know what? This is what commentators do. We speculate. We try to look at bigger picture. Right now, Brody Marinko is holding up the 89, a championship contender, from catching the other championship contender, Joshua Slade, who just so happens to be a teammate of one Brody Marinko. Just going to throw that out there.
And you see it. He is helping his teammate through and through right now, door to door, not giving him any slack. And you might give him enough here. Nope, he's not. The outer groove's going to maintain him there. And this is helping the 12. That's a great point. That is a very solid point. That teamwork is being used here in the back half of tonight's race for the GRL Championship for ? This is kind of remnants of Martinsville with the Chevrolets versus the Toyotas. And a job well done from Brody, man. He is doing everything he can out here.
Yeah, and what he's holding up the 89, yes, but what he's doing is he's allowing the 22 of JJ McCoy, another championship contender, to start reeling back into the picture, and a teammate of the 89 of Bobby Mantle, Grim Reaper Motorsports. I don't care how good you are, you're not going to be able to spread that truck out the entire width of that track. I mean, you can see the lane changes, and they're not your typical lane changes like that. These are defensive lane changes that are going on. So there's definitely something under the microscope there that's going on right now. And I mean, look at what it's done. I mean, look at there's second place. I mean, look at the lead they have over this battle going on for third right now.
I think they finally get him cleared. He does. Man, Brody slapped the wall for turn 2 exit. Oh, hold on. We're going to try it deep in the bottom here. It's going to make it stick. No way. This is really good stuff. Not for the 89, but for everybody watching, this is excellent racing right here. Trying everything he can to help Joshua Slade. And that is the final straw. Outside momentum off a turn. Well,
no, he's got the kink. Is it going to be enough? No. Oh, but he dives it, though, with Bobby Mantle taking that high side. Mantle's up flirting between the second and third groove, and that just leaves that inside open. But I think that right there is done. That's it. I think the 89 has it right now. The 54 falls back. Now he's got the 14 all over his rear bumper. So now the question is, though, is how much tire did Bobby Mantle use up in that entire 8 to 10 lap transition of trying to take over the third spot?
Oh, he used a lot of tire there, getting loose, cutting, crossing this and that. So can he get back to him? The difference is 1.5 seconds with 45 laps to go in this race to end it all for the 2024 calendar year for Global Racing League. There's the man at the point here. The 1 is the leader, the 12 is the leader in the championship column. So are we going to see a Friday Truck Series thing where we got a winner for the race and a different person for the championship? Or do you think even the 12 can run it down and win it all like Joey Logano did today?
I mean, really right now, that 1 of Mike Hayes looks very stout. Very stout. Has been since he took the lead, Jeremy. He's been up there, hasn't fallen outside. I mean, besides pit stops where it was off sequence, hasn't really fallen out of the top 3. I think the 12 is going to have his hands full with the one of Mike Hayes, and if the 12 gets up there and gets racy, he risks having something happen and his championship hopes going away. At this point in time, if you're not being pressured from behind, from the 89 of Bobby Mantle or 22 of JJ McCoy, I would almost just run this all-Geyer style and just run that P2. Only push the issue if you absolutely have to.
Like pushing them 3 wide up against the wall on a restart.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Talk about a pucker moment. I thought he was going to trash himself there, but close racing, 54-14, 14 trying to pass Brody. Brody has used up his tires. Look at the gap between 89 and this pack here. Since that Bobby has passed him, tires are destroyed. Oh, is he running super low on the bottom? Oh, wait, well, hold on. Brody, Bob Mantle.
Short pit.
On pit road. I thought we just talked about not being able to make it. Do we have the correct fuel window? Because that should have put him on par to finishing this race. We might have something else going on.
It might have something else going on. This from the information that was given to the production side. Depending on how you ran it, you could get almost 70 laps. So that's what we were basing it off of. There could be something else. I don't know. But he's getting tires. So this looks like a short pit.
It could be. Last caution was 88, 89. You run the pace lap to 90. That's 62 laps. And if we could go to 70, that's a 10 lap buffer. So I guess how much he was driving the 54, I guess the fuel window went out fuel time frame went out the window. But no, here's the 54 down pit road. But okay, these two are battling. Okay, so Brody's tires are shot. Bobby used all of his gas trying to get around. The real tell sign is who else pits, minus these two guys. So we'll see in the next probably 10, 15 laps if we have more shortcuts or if that's it.
I can tell you one person who will not pit if he thinks he can make it. That's that guy right there, Mike Hayes.
Yes,
We've seen him do this once before if fuel was in question like that, and he can serve 6 additional laps to nab him his first victory since his return back here at Global Racing League Truck Series. So if the dedication and being set and committed to your strategy is in question, we already know the answer to this man right here. But the question is, Jeremy, like you said, what about all the other drivers? We don't know yet. So as commentators and as production team, we don't go down and poll laps to see what fuel count is, what the pit window is or anything else. We rely on feedback from the drivers like that. So it very well could be that what we called out as far as 70 laps may have been just a slight overzealous amount. Maybe it's closer to 60. And with the way these guys are running it, that would have put them right at that 60 laps. And if they were running it too hard, Jeremy, that could have shorted them.
Yeah, could have very well have done so. That's my only guess up to this point. I'm waiting for that third driver to come down pit road to really give us that definite answer of if they can make it or not. Don't see anybody just yet. We're at 35 to go at the line here. It's about halfway through a scheduled fuel run if you go all 70. No takers this time. You see the top 2 or 3 running all the way up in that second, third, fourth groove. You see the 22's doing it. Cycling back to the 12, a little bit lower. Exit of turn 2 himself. And Dustin, he is still slipping away slightly away from the 1. At least the past 10 lap average. Hayes has been faster by a 10th. But that time around, though, something happened to the 1. He lost 3/10. Now it's back to 0.7. I thought the camera angle looked a little closer for the 12, but he is closing out Michael Hayes kind of quick now all of a sudden.
Yeah, and he is. I don't know if something happened to Mike Hayes the last lap, or maybe, trying to conserve fuel. Maybe the tires are a little a little past their prime. You know, there's a number of things that could be playing a factor into this that as broadcasters and production, we don't know. We can only speculate based off of, you know, prior history of these cars at this track and so on and so forth.
Closing in. JJ McCoy has slipped to 5 seconds back. He was about 3 to 4, and he slipped all the way to 5. So the 22 not able to hang with the top 3. And then Bobby Mantle 1 lap down after his pit stop. Of course, he's out of it unless there's a caution or everybody else pits. So not really in question for the 89 anymore. It's really down to the 22 and the 12, and the 12 seems to have everything going the right way if the fuel can hold up.
Yeah, and he's closing in on the one of Mike Hayes right now, so he's looking to say, you know what, forget the Allgaier situation. I'm looking to go Logano style for this championship, as he's trying to close in on Mike Hayes, and that's for the race lead.
Going to be 30 laps to go at the line. The difference is 0.3 of a second, which 4 laps prior was a 1 second gap. Closing it in. Is this a fuel strategy from the number 1? Is it the 12 saying, hey, I'm good a little bit earlier than what he is, cycling back a little bit? Here's Mantle on the inside of Clayton White. Not for position. Clayton White is your 3rd place truck. Comfortable lead over 4th place JJ McCoy, who is your 3rd guy in picture in the 22. There he is. Just kind of falling back more and more, Dustin. I said 5 seconds about 5 laps ago. Now he's 5.5 seconds back. Continue to drop back.
Yeah, and like I said, I don't know if they're trying to stretch. I don't know if, because remember, JJ McCoy did have that hard wall impact, you know, a fair amount of laps ago, and we didn't know if that was going to affect his car. But we hadn't really seen a long run at that point in time, so we didn't know if it was going to affect it on the long run or even affect it at all. You know, we could be seeing a byproduct of that as well. But, I mean, the whole pace of the race is slowing way down, Jeremy. That tells me that to me, it's pit strategy. I feel that a number of these drivers are trying to stretch. That's in my gut. That's what I feel. Just with the way the race pace is slowing way down, more so than what we typically would have expected it to slow down, you know, this late in the run.
Bobby Mantle passes Joshua Slade, not for a position, but caught him like he was sitting still. So once the 89 gets around the number 1, he'll have gotten himself back on the lead lap the hard way. So if there's any cautions that happen at this point, the 89 will either A, be in a really good spot or a really bad spot, because that tire is going to be a huge difference. So he's hoping everybody else will run out of fuel. That is the best case scenario for Bobby Mantle. And I really think it came down to running the 54 as hard as he did is the difference in that fuel strategy. Because that's the only 2 trucks that came down pit road was the ones that were fighting the hardest on the track. Everybody else and just rolling on the throttle nice and easy, doing their own lines, doing their own thing. As we have 25 laps to go.
25 laps to go, Jeremy, and that's a lot of laps to figure out exactly, you know, what the situation is as far as fuel and this run right now. I mean, we take a look at our stint length. So 58 laps is what these drivers have been on since the last time. That is Mike Hayes and Joshua Slade. That is 58 laps. They still got 24 laps to go, Jeremy. Man, that's a tough one. You sit here and look at those numbers. That puts them past that fuel window. Even the one initially that was reported to production staff earlier today of that 70 laps, that puts them past that. I mean, that is off into 80 lap range. So that's up there, my man.
We're going to go on board the Oakley visor camera with the 12 of Joshua Slade to see what it looks like through the visor of potentially your championship winning driver if the
He's
sync
fuel
stays
saving.
green.
He's fuel saving, Jeremy. That's exactly what's going on. I just seen it when we went to the Oakley visor cam. Watch it when he goes into the corner. That tack goes way down.
Yeah, look at that thing.
So there's definitely fuel saving implications going on here. That has officially been confirmed via the Oakley visor cam, brought to you by our fine partners over at Oakley.
Well, there's the difference. Was racing one another versus running your own line is what's going to cost Bobby Mantle the championship trophy tonight. As we're on board here, 22, now 21 to go at the line.
This is Mike Hayes doing the same thing, so fuel saving. And I guarantee you, Jeremy, if we went through everybody in the top 10, they're probably all doing it. We'll go on board with McCoy here. This is, again, another one of your championship contenders. And you see he's barely getting that thing up over 7,000 RPM and off in the corner here. He looks like he's one of very few that's clutching it. He's just letting it roll, but look, he's almost on corner exit before he starts rolling back in. So still in conservation, still trying to conserve as much as possible.
Now, if you're trying to conserve as much as possible, wouldn't you, in theory, run the bottom of 1 and 2? That's just
the
one
shortest,
would think, right?
yeah, shortest route around the track. It uses the least amount of fuel, but you also have to take into play tires as well. I mean, you got to be able to turn and maintain that. And if these drivers are letting off the throttle quite a bit, that's going to affect the weight jacking of these trucks. So if they go to try to turn it in the corner, they don't want to break it loose, especially while they're trying to save fuel.
That's true.
So I mean, there could be more at play that we don't know about, because again, remember they run custom setups here, so it all depends on how that truck is set up and where it's actually comfortable running.
And what that weight jacking does is if you go from full throttle or half throttle down to clutch, which is no RPMs, there is a weight transfer from the back to the front. And if you're already on loose setup, entering the corner, not only are you going to be running extra loose, you basically have no traction whatsoever on the back end. And so it's just going to toss the rear wherever it wants to. And so if you run the outside lane, you got that little extra grip patch of a lane up there. So it helps you with that, helps you with less wheel input, which also, again, tightens it up a little bit. So that's exactly what we're referencing there. And here's the 12, the 14. They're both on camera here. That's 4 position. Clayton White up to P2. Slade realizing McCoy is 5 seconds back, or 4.5, with 17 laps to go. The 12 can afford to clutch as much as he possibly needs to still secure this trophy.
Absolutely, and the person and the driver in the best position right now, Jeremy, is the man on your screen right now. Last time he hit pit road 47 laps ago, compared to the 67 for both Hayes and Slade. Clayton White may have enough he doesn't have to conserve or save near as much, so he may have the truck to be able to chase down, pass Hayes, and as long as this thing stays green, the next 16 laps, 15 to go at the line, may be able to sit here and squeeze out a win. But like you said, Slade has got plenty of room right now. He does not have to pressure it. He can clutch it. He can save as much as he has to. Slade is in the best position possible. This is his championship as it runs right now to lose. If he falters, it's gone. He's got to play his cards right, but he's not being pressured. So again, he just has to continue this momentum and this trajectory for another 15 laps.
Just to show you how much the 12 is saving, J.J. McCoy caught Joshua Slade by a half a second in one lap, from 4.5 down to 4 at the line this time. The difference between the two remains at 4. So Joshua gave up way too much. He recognized it. He matched the time of the 22, which is a very professional move there to recognize exactly where I need to lift to mimic my competition that's also on the same fuel strategy. At the line this time, we'll compare laps here. Difference is same deal. It's going to be actually 3.7, so technically McCoy gains a decent amount again.
And you know why McCoy is not clutching it, Jeremy? Look at our pit length for stints.
Oh, yeah, look
McCoy
at
is
that.
on the same pit strategy and cycle as that of Clayton White. Slade and Hayes are on the same pit cycle. That is a 10-lap difference. Actually, no. Correction. 20-lap difference. That is huge when it comes to a fuel-saving situation like this right here. Oh, Jeremy, this is gonna get close.
Even the 54s on fresh tires. This is going to be much harder for the 22. The 54 has already shown that he is a great teammate for blocking. And this is the final effort to keep Joshua Slade up ahead. Let's see what happens here. So far, it's working.
Yeah, but even if he blocks, here's the thing. And
Uh-oh,
there you go.
turns
McCoy wasn't having any part of it. He'd already seen what the 54 had been doing to his teammate for like 10 straight laps. McCoy wasn't having any part of playing peekaboo in the mirror. So he just kept the truck there and going. But even if that wouldn't have happened, they were still catching Slade. Even with the 54 blocking because of the speeds, they were still catching Slade. So I mean, he wasn't helping his teammate really. I mean, because they were still going to end up catching him to begin with, and it was going to be the 54 was going to be right on the back bumper of the 12 at that point in time. So I mean, it is what it is. I get the 22 in that one. I mean, he did. He gave him the chrome horn. He gave him a little tap to work him out of the lane. But, I mean, you got to realize that 22 had a front row seat to what was going on between Marinko and Mantle for 10 laps.
And the 54's on better tires. So this ain't over yet, boys. This is not over yet. Here we go. Does he get him back, knowing he's a championship driver? Oh, he's going to drive it in deep. Oh, this is going to get very fun. 8 laps, 7 laps to go, whatever the number is. They're door to door. 8 to go is the number there. We're just going to keep our eyes on this battle here. He's going to get back to the front and then choke him up again. That was a very great move by the 22, by the way. To bump someone that far out of lane and not wreck them was flawless. But now here it is, 54 back to the front. Look at that. He's going to choke up the corner once more. He's going to slow down the entry of the 22. I love team strategy, and this is it at its finest here.
And it really is. But I mean, let's do the flip side on this one here. Let's say worst case scenario happens, and let's say the chrome horn is used, and this time here the 54 isn't able to save it. The 54 wrecks. I mean, literally, he can't blame anybody besides himself. He's a lap down right now, racing a lead lap driver and a championship driver, and clearly with what's been shown on the broadcast, he has been driving a defensive line to help that of his teammate, which I would expect. You know, but on the flip side, if the ill happens, you can't really go after the 22 on this one.
You can't. You really can't. And that's why I was kind of curious if he was going to get back to him or not. I personally would know the situation and not, but you never know. People are not me. So we got to keep our eyes on that kind of thing. And they're still gaining. We are at 5 to go. The difference is a second and a half. That's it. Second and a half. That can be manageable. But the part is, can he get around the 54? I don't see Brody passing Joshua Slade. There's going to be no way I see that happening in my cards.
No, I mean, if you're going to play the teamwork aspect of it, the 54 is going to stay as a buffer between Slade and McCoy. I mean, that's going to be a gimme, because if the 54 goes off and around, then that's going to put Slade and McCoy going at it for the championship, and the teams are trying to lock this in, and it actually scratch it, because the 12 can't make it. 12's coming in, so it doesn't matter.
Oh man, all that TV work for that.
Oh man, and that's
all the clutching, all the this and that.
Man, 3 to go.
The fuel window was not advertised correctly to us, sir. That's a shame. But either way, all that now is going to go to JJ.
Hold on,
McCoy.
It was, buddy. They have stretched it 80 laps. Hayes and Slade, 80 laps. So it was, 80 laps since their last pit stop. Look at the stint length, my guy.
How has Hayes gone 81 laps? I know you've said he's a miracle worker at this.
That's an excellent question.
we saw the 12. He was clutching it with 30 to go,
Oh, absolutely.
and he still can't make it.
So yeah, that's heartbreaking. You see
That is
right
heartbreaking.
there's Joshua
Out of
Slade.
fuel, I think. He's out of fuel.
He's out
One
of
to
fuel.
go.
Oh, almost made it. Got to the one lap to go. Not able to do it. Clayton White with the strategy and JJ McCoy on the same strategy. This is going to be your race winner. With the fuel strategy and the pit strategy call, Clayton White, 2 more corners to get the checkered flag. Clayton White will win it. And on the same pit strategy, JJ McCoy will cross the line P2 and be crowned your Global Racing League Truck Series 2024 champion.
Man, that is insane. What a show to end
Wow.
the season. Strategy, fuel out at the last moment, contact, 4 wide. Like, this race checked every single box on my list. Fantastic performance. And Clayton White, very up and down season, gets himself a W here at the very last race of the season. Burn it down, man. You deserve this one.
Oh, absolutely. First win of the season. First time we'll get to interview him in the Martin Sports victory lane. But I tell you what, the right pit strategy call. Oh, and we get to call him out on it too. Little bit of wall tag there. We always call him out. But burn it down, my man. But again, that was all pit strategy called. That's what won that race for Clayton White. That's what won the championship for that man right there, JJ McCoy. And you see a little congratulatory dual burnout race winner, championship, season winner, going head to head like that. So excellent job by these drivers, Jeremy. It comes down to pit strategy like that on these races is just awesome.
Me and you just did this 24 hours ago in an Xfinity race. Very oddly
We did.
enough.
We did.
A nose-to-nose burnout. You won, I didn't, but we did a burnout. So here we go. He's going to do some burnouts now for the 22. He gets the TV camera time before we go full screen for post-race, because this guy did not win the race. He has won the entire season. Congratulations to JJ McCoy. He's going to take the picture route. Dustin said, I don't care what you want. Here's your full screen regardless. Clayton White, P1. JJ McCoy, 2nd. EJ Luna, 3rd. Stephen Hayes, 4th. Stephen Knight in 5th. Bobby Mantle, 6th place. Justin LeBlanc ends in 7th. John Howard in 8th. Michael Hayes in 9th. And that's your last guy on the lead lap. Everybody else 1 lap down or more. That's Brody Marinko in 10th. Joshua Slade, 11th. Bradley Minor, 12th. Danny White, 13th. Ron Harrington, 14th. Mark Sherwood, 15th. And Ronald Holmes ends up in 16th. Full screen commercial break coming up. Oh, they do have victory lane. Look at that. I did not realize that was an open feature on this track. So there you go. Pictures to be had for the 22 underneath all the shadows. And we'll be right back. And welcome for the Martin Sports post race show. We got our top three gathered around here in our Discord, and well, there's 5 in that list. So, whatever the case is, here we go. First person, third place, EJ Luna in the 24. EJ, congratulations on third place.
Hey, Dustin, Jeremy, appreciate you guys.
Yes, sir. You started 9th. The times were kind of there, kind of not, but needless to say, you ran a clean race. You did what you needed to. You saved fuel. You pit at the right time, and you found third. So after all that racing, all the 5 cautions and this and that, how are you able to come home in third?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun actually racing there. We were chasing a lot of cars down. It eventually did come down to pit strategy. That last caution that came out, I decided to just top off, save tires just in case, because there's usually late race cautions here at Phoenix. And, well, it ended up staying green, and we ended up cycling out in third. It was a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, it was a blast up here calling the race. Check marked all the boxes for me, and I'm sure it did for Dustin as well. And your truck, you were a little bit on edge early to start this thing. You hit the wall a couple times, I think, on corner exits. Did that kind of affect your truck on the long run?
Nah, I was a little loose, but we finally got it under us, got a feel for the setup, and yeah, I mean, we managed to race a lot.
Did some driver changes behind the wheel to make this thing happen. P3 tonight. Congratulations, EJ. Any final shout outs before we let you go?
Hey, honestly, just want to give a shout out to the league. It's been a great season. Thank you guys, Nerditudes, for putting this on. All my teammates in Lone Star Racing, and everybody watching, family, friends, thank you guys for tuning in all season. We'll see you next time.
Yes, sir. We will catch you next year, 2025, coming up shortly, man. Go have a great off season.
Thank you guys. Stay safe.
Yep. Will do. You too. It's EJ Luna in the 24. Now, we typically go to second place, but that's our championship winner. So we're going to load up victory lane a little early and bring in this guy, the number 14, Clayton White, with the first win of the year in the final race, man. Congratulations.
I guess save the best for last, I guess. That's what they say, right?
That is indeed what they say. Man, what a race.
Yeah, I thought I had no idea I was going to even do that well there in that last pit stop, because when I went in and top off on fuel, I had my tires unchecked, I thought, but they put left sides on it only, and I was like, yeah, I'm a dead duck here. But it actually helped it, and it made the thing rotate, and I was able to stay on the bottom there and just roll. I was like, huh, must be the crew chief knew what he was doing.
Yeah, and answer me this question. You
Sure.
pit on lap 86,
Yep.
and you made it to the end. How much fuel was left in your tank?
I had, I think, 10 to 15 left.
Okay.
'Cause I filled it right up. I just filled it right up because I said to hell that I was just gonna fill it up, make sure I had enough, and because I've been burned a couple times, so I was like, I'm just gonna fill it and make a wedge adjustment and hope it works.
Okay, that answers my question. 10-4 on that, man. Congratulations, though. Awesome stuff. Yeah, people were pitting. We had no idea. We thought Michael Hayes was maybe going to pull another miracle, and he almost did it, 1 lap shy. He had 82 laps, I think, when he crossed the line, dry on fuel. 82 laps seems amazing.
Yeah,
Phoenix.
I was watching it and I was like, man, those guys are staying out. There's no way they can go that long on fuel. And I was like, but I'm surprised they made it that far. I was wondering what was happening because I caught him there once, and then he started pulling away again. And I was like, oh, he's saving. And then I just kept trying to hit my marks and just do everything I could just to stay with him and get close enough. Then when I got it down under a second, I was really started pushing it. And then I saw his truck sputter there on the backstretch, and I'm like, oh, he's out. So I just did what I could to get up by him and then stay off the wall and not spin.
There you go, man. Well, congratulations. Awesome job. Finally got a win to cap off the year. Appreciate you watching our stuff each and every single week after these races and giving us shout outs wherever. So that being said, the floor is yours, man. Who would you like to thank?
Thank you to you guys for putting on a great broadcast, Global Racing League, for allowing us to do this. My wife out there watching. I know my dad's out there watching. Gotta thank her as my sponsor as well for Heidi's Scentsy. If you guys are looking for some holiday gifts, get on there at Heidi or whatever the website is. I forgot it now, but it's on the truck if you go back and watch it. But yeah, Premier for a great setup. And everybody else, congratulations JJ for his championship. And everyone else who races in the league. And we run hard and we get a little contested every now and then, get mad at each other, but we seem to work it out and get through it till the next week. But other than that, it was a good time. And like I said, you and Dustin put in a lot of work here and we appreciate it. And I can't wait to go back and watch it and see how it all turns out and just to see it on the big screen.
It was a fun one, man. And I got your back. HeidiWolf.Scentsy.us.
Thank you, sir. I appreciate that.
He's got your back, man. So he saved you.
Perfect. I'll remember that for next season. Maybe I'll have to get a J-Stand paint scheme up there.
Hey, Nerd Raps is open, baby. Let's go.
There we go.
Speaking of which, shout out to your painter, Ron Harrington's paint job. Chef's kiss.
Flawless. We had some good chuckles up in the booth tonight for sure.
Yeah, he likes to come up with pretty unique stuff, and he's pretty creative, so I'm glad to have him on my team. And I'd like to thank, actually, since you brought that up, everybody on Team Whatchamacallit. I know a couple of guys didn't show up. They kind of had some commitments and stuff, but hopefully next year we'll come back stronger and hopefully get more of us up here in the top 3 to talk to you guys.
Absolutely, man. Enjoy the off season, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, man. That was Clayton White, P1 tonight. Finally gets the W, but now time to rotate to our other guy in victory lane, the number 22, JJ McCoy, finishes second on the race, but picks up the championship, man. Congratulations.
Oh, man. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much.
This race was crazy, man. 4 wide, 3 wide, strategies all over the map. I didn't expect it after 5 cautions. Like, there was some nonsense going on out there. You last pitted, it looked like around lap 86, 87 as well. How much fuel did you have left in your tank?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not even sure.
He's like, I won a championship. I didn't care.
Doesn't matter now.
Right? When we pit that last time, I topped it off. I just didn't change my tires because you never know at the end there. So when I saw the other guys stay out, I was like, there's no way they can make it. So I was feeling pretty good as long as I could stay out of trouble. Got a little nervous with the 54 truck there doing what he was doing, but we were able to persevere.
Yeah, we were talking about that. Him and Bobby Mantle put a show on TV for us, and then you come up and you said, I've watched this already. I've been told about it, so we're just going to give you the chrome horn early and try our best. But then the 12 ran out of fuel, which he pitted the same time you did, roughly, like within 2 laps. So I thought maybe you'd have been done too, but nope, you and Michael Hayes finished thing out strong. So what did you do to save that fuel?
Oh, like I said, I topped off that last time there, and then I knew my tires were already had some laps on them, so I knew I was just gonna have to, easy as she goes and save as I was going. But I just kept her easy, steady, and kept my pace.
Well,
but it was some fun racing, man. I love this track. So many different lanes you can pick from, right? And just you could be 5, 6 wide. It's exciting.
Yeah, you really can. It does not matter, especially turn 1 and turn 2. Like, options are endless. Underneath the yellow, up against the blue wall, in between. But dude, yeah, congrats on the championship. Chad could not be here. He's here to watch Joey Logano win the championship. AKA probably should have stayed here and won. Or at least have a chance for tonight's championship.
Hey, I am much happier with this 22 winning the championship than the other 22 winning the championship today. So you know what, McCoy? You are number 1 in my book, my man. So I'll take your 22 any day.
Awesome. I was going to say 22 on the truck, number 1 in your heart.
There you go. Anything's better than Logano, my man, so.
Right.
All right, well, we're going to wrap this thing up. Congratulations on the championship. Well earned. Very, very good job. Well done. So with that being said, final thoughts before we let you go.
I just want to thank Grim Reaper for inviting me on. I feel like it was a real good rookie season. Hopefully we can maintain. Thank you for you guys, everything you do. I can't wait to watch everything back, and just really, really glad to be a part of the whole thing, and glad I could race with everybody here.
Absolutely. And a few months away, we'll have 2025 starting up. So enjoy the off season, man. Congrats once more.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. That was JJ McCoy there. Championship winner, P2 in the race tonight. Got the podium regardless. So we didn't need a fourth interview. Dustin, that race was crazy. Had everything that we needed.
Oh, absolutely everything we needed. P2 for the 22. That's a whole lot of twos. I mean, it had fuel strategy coming in that, I mean, just changed the entire landscape of the race. I mean, the driver that had it locked up all of a sudden didn't. Clayton White had the right pit strategy call. The driver that had it locked up as far as the championship all of a sudden didn't have it locked up anymore. The 22 made the right pit call. I mean, it was fantastic. That opening lap, I mean, 4 wide for 3/4 of a lap, and they held it, and then went to single file. I mean, we had a couple cautions in there. Like this race, like you said, checked off everything I have on my Phoenix, bingo card. Like literally, I think the only thing we didn't see was a truck flip. That was about the only thing on the bingo card that we did not see. But I mean, just the pit strategy. I was like you. It's not very often that they catch us nerds off guard the way that they did. But when you throw in these fuel mileages and pit strategies, and you have to try to start, making calculations and assumptions and, predictions on what's going on, man, when you start making the nerds think about maths that much, man, while we're trying to call and produce a race, it gets tough. But I tell you what, it makes it fun. It makes it really fun. It was a good race.
It was a fantastic race. Ron Harrington, I see you there. You're welcome for the kind words. And maybe if you did, maybe you'd be up here talking to us here tonight in the top 3. Maybe next year will be the year we'll put you in the playoffs. But anyway, you guys have a good rest of your night. We'll be back on Sundays in 2025 whenever Global Racing League kicks up their season. Next month, I do believe we have a Thursday series starting up. Stay tuned. Head yourself over to, if you're on Facebook watching this, just follow us. If you're on YouTube, follow the page. You're going to see the event scheduled. We're going to be broadcasting over the winter season with some late models coming up. So the details will pour in as we get them. And then next year, we will have 2025 Global Racing League back. We've already announced we are not doing the Tuesday series, so at the moment it'll be Sundays and it'll be Thursdays. So if anyone needs a broadcast, I think we're open for maybe a third one, possibly. I might be producing 2, so I might get scary. But either way, you guys.
You got this, man. We're going to have fun with it. That's what us nerds do. We have fun. It's going to be a blast.
It'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it, but yeah.
Then you get to boss me around. See, that's why you're looking forward to it. I knew there was something.
You're going to cut to the commercial breaks, and you're going to scold me. And then I won't be. I'm just kidding. I'm completely kidding. It'll be fun.
I knew there was a
reason. You guys
reason.
stay tuned to the social, though. And have a good rest of your night. Stay safe. Get your nerd on. Congrats once more to JJ McCoy. You're 2024 Global Racing League champion.
This presentation is brought to you in part by
Martin Sports. Get the apparel, look stylish, be badass with apparel from Martin Sports. martinsports.gg. iRacing iFlag. Must-have flag marshaling system for any aspiring sim racer. Get yours today at iracingiflag.com. Boomer button boxes. Total sim control at your fingertips. boomerbuttonboxes.com. If you race hard, then you need to rock hard.
And no station gets you harder than
iRock935.com. If you're a collector and that's your game, then Dusty Pete's, that's the name. Dusty Pete's
Back when nothing truly mattered